in తర్వాత start
How do I know whether it started?
అది escape కొడితే
ఇప్పుడు నా వాయిస్ వెళ్తుందా దాంట్లో?
live 3 seconds.
Where the mind is without fear. Rabindranath Tagore. Indian poetry and Indian literature in general has a long history dating back to Vedic times. Poetry in foreign languages such as Persian and English also has a strong influence on Indian poetry. The poetry reflects diverse spiritual traditions within India. In particular, many Indian poets have been inspired by mystical experiences. Poetry is the oldest form of literature and has a rich written and oral tradition. Born at Calcutta, Bengal Presidency, British India, Rabindranath Tagore was the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. Tagore introduced new prose and verse forms and the use of colloquial languages in Bengali literature. He wrote over 1,000 poems, 8 volumes of short stories, almost 2 dozen plays and playlets, 8 English novels, and many books and essays on philosophy, religion, education, and social topics. This particular poem is the one which I love the most, and it's a prayer to a universal father figure, that is, the God Almighty. The poem, with its inspiring lines, elaborates Tagore's vision of a new, enlightened India, where the mind is without fear. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the words come out from the depths of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. The poet draws a picture of free India. He dreamt of a country with no boundaries. He prays for the welfare of the country. The poet desires peace and prosperity among his countrymen and prays that his country might attain overall welfare and self-reliance. We can see alliteration as the figures of speech in this particular poem: head, held, and high. Assonance: tireless striving stretches, repetition of S sound. Dreary desert sand of dead habit, repetition of D sound, D sound. Freedom, my father, repetition of the F sound. Anaphora, where the word is being repeated at the beginning of all the sentences or statements or clauses. Synecdoche, country means the people of the country. And then we have metaphor, personification, apostrophe. If we get into the line-by-line interpretation, the poet pledges to the Almighty that his country should be free from any fear of domination or forced compulsion. He wants that everyone in the country should be free to hold their heads high in dignity. He dreams of a nation where knowledge or education would be free. That is, education should not be restricted to the upper class only, but everybody should be free to acquire knowledge.